Today I'm going to show you how to divide regular and decimal numbers. I'm going to do 5 examples. There will be 5 examples. Bear with me. You see how I do the division with single one rule of those 5 different examples. Then you'll be able to divide all the numbers. So, let's start. Before I start, I should mention that you should know how to do the multiplication. If you do not know how to do the multiplication, stop the video, pause it, go back, but you have to learn about multiplication table first. If you know how to multiply, then division is easy. Alright, so our first example. In this example, 9,126 will be divided by 3. Let's do that. You're going to start all the numbers. You're going to divide every single numbers here. So let's do that. Let's start with the very first number, 9. In 9, how many 3's are there? In other words, 3 times what is 9 or bigger than 9? So, but I know from multiplication table, 3 times 3 is 9. So, in 9, I have 3 3's. So, you're going to have this number writing down on top of the number you are dealing with. Right now, I'm dealing with 9. I'm dealing with 9. So, the number I will be writing will go on top of the 9. So, in 9, there are 3 9's. So, 3 times 3, which is 9. I'm going to write that down here. Subtract. I got 0. Now, I'm going to bring down the next number. So, the next number goes down 1. So, that's the number we need to discuss about right now. In 1, how many 3's are there? In 1, I don't see any 3's. It's just 0 3's there. So that's the number you need to write down. That's where the power of 0 comes with the division. You need to write down 0 here. 0 times 3 is 0. So you're going to write that down. Subtract once again. So you will again get number 1. But now we just did the division by 1. And now it's turn to bring the number 2 down here. Now we're going to talk about 12. In 12, how many 3's are there? 4. Let's write down 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract, you will get 0. I'm going to bring next number down, which is 6. So let's talk about 6. In 6, how many 3's are there? 2. So let's write that down. 2 times 3 is 6. You write down 6. Subtract. You got 0. What is left here? Nothing. The number that's left is 0. Nothing. Is there any number up there here for you to bring down to divide? No. There is no number to bring down to divide. And there is 0 I find out over here. So division is over. The answer is when you divide 9,126 with 3, you will get 3,042. So that was example number 1. Please be patient with me. You'll see how exactly the same rule applies for even the most complicated question. So, over here, I'm going to divide 3 by 6. Usually it's the other way around. Usually you divide 6 by 3. But in this case, that's not what we are doing. So I'm going to divide. But I'm going to use exactly the same method. So in 3, I'm dealing with that number. In 3, how many 6 are there? I see no 6 there. So I'm going to write down 0 right here. 0 times 6 is 0. Once again, I'm going to do the subtraction. I'm going to get 3. So there is no number to divide, but there is a number left here, 3. So it is not 0. So my division is not over that. Until I get 0, I will continue. But right now it's not over. So what can I do? Well, what I know about the numbers is that when you have a number, 3, and you add 0 in front of it, still 3. You add 0, as many zeros in front of the number, this is still 3. But add 1 0 right after the number, that is not 3 anymore. I am looking at 30. The number has changed from 3 to 30. But according to rules, when you have a decimal number here and when you add 0, it is like adding 0 to the front. So add 2 zeros more here, 2 zeros. It's the same thing, adding zeros after the decimal. There must be a decimal. After this, it doesn't matter how many zeros you add. This is still 3. So in other words, 5 and 5.0000. This is still 5. Both numbers are 5. So now I know that. Let's go back. And I have to continue with the division because the number left here is not 0. So I'm gonna change this number to decimal 0. I can add more numbers if I want. If I need, I can add as many numbers as I want. But first, I want to try if adding just 1 0 solves the situation here. So now I'm going to continue to divide. 0 goes down. Now what I got here is 30. In 30, how many 6 I have? 5. On top of 0, that's the number I'm dealing with right now, which turn into 30. But on top of 0, write down 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract. You got zeros. There is no number left here to divide. Okay. How about that? So I don't have to add more zeros. I just have to follow the decimal here. I just have to follow that. But division is over. So in other words, when you divide 3 by 6, you will get what number I am looking at? 0.5. So now, let's continue with our third example. 226 divided by 5. Let's do that. Over here, I'm going to get a decimal number. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to use a different color here. So let's start with the very first number, 2. In 2, how many 5s do you see? I see no 5s there. Let's write down no 5s. Nothing times 5 is 0. Subtract. You will get 2 once again. Now let's deal with the next number. 2 goes down. 22. In 22, how many 5s you have? 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. I'm getting close. 5 times 5 is 25. Too much. Go back. 5 times 4 is 20. So that's the number you're going to write down. 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract. You're going to get 2 again. Now I'm going to bring the other number down, which is 6. In 26, how many 5s I have? I'm going to write down this number exactly on top of the 6. So in 26, there are 5 5s. Write down 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract. What is left here is 1. Any number to bring it down? There is no number to bring down, but there is a number left there. So my division is not over that. Let's finish that. How? I'm going to bring down a number. There is no number. So I am going to make this a decimal number and add 10. Hopefully this will solve it. If not, I can add more zeros. It's not going to change the number. This is still 226 I am dividing, I am working on. So now let's bring this down. Now the number I'm going to work on 10. In 10, how many fives? Just 2. Before I write down 2 or after you write down, make sure you follow the decimal here. So decimal goes right there. So 2 times 5 is 10. What is left? Nothing. Is there any number to bring down? Nothing. Division is over. So your answer is, I see 45 has 0 in front of it, which means nothing in front of a number. If you have 0, that's not going to change the number. So simply I'm going to erase it. So the answer is 45.2. So that was example number 3. Bear with me. Be patient. Example number 4. Now I'm going to divide a regular number, 66, with a decimal number, 1.2. So how I do that? What you do here is that whenever you have the number, decimal number, that's the dividing number, you have to change the question. The question has to be changed. We must change this question to a brand new question. How you do that? That has to be a regular number. We must have a regular number. How can we have a regular number? Simply, if we multiply it by 10, you will get rid of the decimal number. So 1.2 times 10 will give you 12. Over here, what we simply do, in other words, the decimal here moves to the right. So what happens to 66? You've got to change the question as I said. So I'm going to make this a decimal number as well, 0.0. You know that this is still 66. So I change 1.2 to 12. A decimal moves to right. The decimal has to move to right here as well. And I'm going to end up with my brand new question. 12. Oops. Brand new question 12. That will be 660. So my brand new question is, I'm going to divide 660 with 12. So that's my brand new question. Now I'm going to forget about that question, which is the main question, and I'm going to do this. So brand new question, 12 in 6. How many 12s I see? I see no 12 there. So let's write that down. 0. 0 times 12 is 0. Subtract, you will get 6. Let's bring down the other 6. In 66, there are some 12s. 5 12s, that will be 60. So there are 5 12s. Write down 60. As I said, you should know the multiplication in order to do this question. So 12 times 5 is 60. Subtract that. You're going to have the 6 down here. Now it's time to bring down the 0. In 60, how many 12 you have? 5 again. 60. Subtract. What is left is nothing. Is there any number to bring down? No, it's just 3 numbers to bring down, and we deal with that. So I see 55 in front of it. There is a number, so I'm going to simply ignore that number. Done. That's how you do the division. So the original question here, 1.2, 66 divided 1.2, it is 55. Once again, 66 divided by 1.2, that will give you 55. All right. So if you are still patient with me, Now you're going to see the last example, how we're going to divide number that has both decimals. Both of them has the decimals. So the rule is the same, exactly the same rule. That's what I meant. Once you know how to divide using one single rule, you're going to apply this to very complicated questions as well. So I'm going to move this decimal to here, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to move that decimal there as well. And that's not enough. I'm going to move this decimal once again, and I'm going to move that decimal once again. And now I'm going to have a brand new question, which means 125, and inside I have 19016 point. That's where the decimal now is 25. So that's my brand new question. So I'm going to forget about this question. So I'm going to work on this brand new question to get answer to the first question. Okay, let's do that. Now I have to know the multiplication table for which number? 125. So at least that's an easy number to deal with. So let's divide every single one of the numbers here in one. In one. How many 125s I am looking at? None. 0. Subtract. I'm going to get 1. Let's bring down the next number. 9. In 19, how many 125 are there? Nothing. Let's write down 0. Nothing. So that's going to go down. 1, 9. And then I'm going to divide the next number. Bring that down. 190. Yes, we have some 125 there. We have 125 there. So 125 subtract, and that 9 is 8. You get 1. So this is 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. So that is now 8. 8 minus 12. I'm sorry, 8 minus 2 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. I got 65 here. So I'm going to bring down the next number, which is 1. All right. In 651, how many 125s I have? 5 of them will be 500, 625. So I have 5 of them. On top of 1, because that's the number I just brought 1, and I'm going to write down 5. 5 times 125, that will be 625. Let's subtract. That doesn't work. I'm going to borrow 1 from here. Now this is 4, but that is 11. 11 minus 5 is 6. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 6 minus 6 is 0. Now I got 26. Let's bring down the next number. Be patient. Follow the rules. You'll be fine. 6 is going to go down. 6 going down. So 256. How many 125 I have there? 2. That will make it 250. So on top of 6, I'm going to write down 2. 2 times 125 is 250. Let's subtract that. It's going to be 6. That's going to be 1, 0. I still have a number here. Let's continue. 2 will, but that's a decimal number. I'm going to bring that down, but I just don't want to forget, if decimal starts here, decimal should start on top of the decimal. So I'm going to make sure I have the decimal here first. And now I'm going to bring down the 2. And whatever number I get here, that's going to be on top of the 2. All right. So 2 goes down. Let's see. Yes, right here. So that will be 2. In 162, how many 125 I have? 1. There is just 1. 125. 125. Subtract. And that's not gonna work. So let's make this 12. This is now 5. 12 minus 5 is 7. 5 minus 2 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I got 37 there, but I have one more number left. 5. Done. Right here. 375. So how many 125 I have in 375? Exactly 3. Oops, let's make this blue. Blue. 3 times 125 will give you 375. Subtract. No number left here. And go up. There is no number to bring down. And in front of a number, regular number here, 152, I got 00 that I can erase. And so let's go back to my original question. The original question is, what is 190.1625 divided by 1.25? So this is the original question, and the answer is, let's just move this a little bit, and the answer is right here, 152.13. 152.13. So that's the answer. As you can see, we just did a very complicated, ugly question with using the same method without making any mistakes here. Thank you for being patient with me. That was a lot of listening.